Also, the reconditioning of the football helmets. That's a major cost each year for the football program. Uh, that should be at the top of one of the things at the top of the list, as well as these Speed Icon football helmets are just 10 additional helmets. Those were approved as well. Next, we had and their budget football, they came in at little over $7,100, and their budget was $7,200. So they spent basically all of it. The boys volleyball boys volleyball was, as you can see right here, $3,000, and again, they basically spent most of it as well. They had $30 left in their account. Here's what they were approved for. So this year, the boys volleyball team, they are up for new uniforms, so it is in this cost. So they had jerseys and shorts. They also have regulation volleyballs, and that's just a necessity that they need to play the sport. They were approved the water bottles, volleyball rack for the additional volleyballs that they were buying, a rectangular blocking pad, a bungee blocker, a spike mate volleyball trainer as well, and then men's regulation volleyballs, as well as the athletic tape. They were approved of all of that. If after this year, their budget will be cut because they won't have uniforms. So any program that is up for uniforms this year, their budget's a little bit higher than it will be next year. So I would assume that I approved them for $3,000, but just looking at this, their uniforms totaled out to almost $1,500. So their budget next year will be cut in half. So it'll be about, $1,500. So just keep that in mind. And then the next program, you see girls tennis, kind of had a short budget. Girls tennis, they were also approved of uniforms this year as well, up for uniforms. 12 singlets. They also was approved for a tennis backpack. The total of that came out to $1,016.59. The tennis ball set 60-pack was approved, as well as the Prince 3-pack Duratac over grip. So that is what was approved for the girls tennis program. Then next we will look at field hockey. Field hockey, there were some things that I had to cut. The things that I approved, though, was the Jugs field hockey machine. This was a high-priced item at $1,500. But their budget this year was $3,200. So they still ended up being under that budget. So with that, I approved it because they had the money in their budget for it. So the hockey machine was approved, as well as their huddle video system. They also was approved of the rebounder, another training tool, spot markers, and small disc cones. So that's what they were approved for. They got everything listed according to their priority. They got the things that they listed with the highest priority. I did have to cut the things that they did have at the lowest priority, though, and we'll talk about that. Baseball this year, here's their budget. They came in at a little over $2,800, and their budget this year was $3,000. So with baseball, if you look, they're approved of a bucket of practice balls, and again, that's a basic thing that you need for baseball. So that's gonna be the first thing on the list, and it's gonna be approved every year. Again, game balls, another necessity, and it was approved. Bats, I did approve the bats because it was one of those things that their budget allowed it. But if there was something that had to be cut, this could be something that could be cut, because most players have their own bats. But I understand that coaches also may need a bat for practice as well. They were approved for their hats, and the catcher's mitt and gear was approved. And again, this is something that the players may purchase, and then they were approved of the helmets and the pitching machine. And the main reason they were approved is it all totaled up to it all came out to being under their budget. Girls volleyball is next, and if you look at their budget, it was $3,000 as well, and they requested uniforms, and those were not approved. However, they did get approved for several other things. Huddle is a great system that was approved. Game balls, clearly approved. Banners, team banners and senior banners, those were approved. A ball cart was approved. Knee pads, pink out shirts, coaching polos, camp t-shirts, and game t-shirts all were approved. And this is because all of this stuff came in under their budget of $3,000. If there was, I did have to cut, again, the uniforms, and some other things that we'll talk about when we get to those items. Girls soccer was approved of $2,800. They were up for jerseys this year, so a bulk of their costs came from jerseys. As you can see, $2,000 was just in jerseys, and so really it's a little over. Is most of their budget this year was jerseys and uniforms. So a field striper, however, was approved as well for the girls soccer team. Then we move on to girls swimming, which, let's see, they were approved for $2,800, and the girls swimming team just barely came in under that. They were up for uniforms as well, so they had swimsuits. They had a warm-up pant and jacket on there, swim caps, and then they were also had room in the budget for a snorkel style and some paddles. So those were approved. The marching band had a big cost in shoes that was eliminated, but other than that, the other three things were approved, and it came under $3,000, which that their budget was $2,800. So Uh,